Namibia versus Angola. Which country is better? In this video, we shall be putting two great African nations, Namibia and Angola, against each other to see which country comes on top. For this comparison, we shall be using indices like geography and demography, economic strength, infrastructure, standard of living, passport strength, and tourism. But first, if you are new on the channel, welcome. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our videos. Geography and demography. Namibia is located in southwestern Africa, bordered by Angola, Zambia, Botswana, South Africa, and the Atlantic Ocean. It spans approximately 825,615 square kilometers, making it one of Africa's largest and most sparsely populated countries. The terrain includes vast deserts like the Namib, one of the world's oldest, the arid Kalahari, rugged mountains, and savannas. Namibia has a dry desert climate, with hot days, cool nights, and minimal rainfall, especially in the west. Coastal regions experience frequent fog due to the cold Benguela Current. Despite the arid conditions, Namibia boasts rich biodiversity, especially in Etosha National Park and the Caprivi Strip. Namibia has a population of approximately 2.7 million people, making it one of the least densely populated countries in the world. The population is ethnically diverse, with the Ovambo people being the largest group, followed by the Kavango, Herero, Damara, Nama, Caprivians, San, Bushmen, and others. About 50% of the population lives in rural areas. English is the official language, though Oshiwambo, Afrikaans, German, and other indigenous languages are widely spoken. Namibia has a young population, with a median age of around 22 years. The majority are Christian, and the country has made progress in education and health since independence in 1990. Angola, on the other hand, is a vast country located in southwestern Africa, bordered by Namibia to the south, Zambia to the east, the Democratic Republic of Congo to the north and northeast, and the Atlantic Ocean to the west. It also includes the Cabinda exclave, separated from the rest of the country by a strip of the DRC. Angola covers a total land area of about 1.25 million square kilometers, making it the seventh largest country in Africa. The geography is diverse, featuring a narrow coastal plain rising to a vast inland plateau. The Central Highlands, including the Bié Plateau, are fertile and serve as the country's agricultural heartland. The country has major rivers like the Kwanza, Kunene, and Zambezi, and varied ecosystems ranging from tropical forests in the north to arid zones in the south. Angola's climate is tropical along the coast and in the north, transitioning to a semi-arid climate in the south and along the Central Highlands. The coastal region is heavily influenced by the Benguela Current, which brings cooler temperatures and fog. Angola has a population of around 36 million people, with a high growth rate and a very young population. Over 60% are under the age of 25. The country is ethnically diverse, with the Ovambo 37%, Mbundu 25%, and Bakongo 13% as the major ethnic groups. Portuguese is the official language, a legacy of colonial rule, while numerous Bantu languages like Mbundu, Kimbundu, and Kikongo are widely spoken. The majority of Angolans live in urban areas, particularly in the capital Luanda, which is one of Africa's largest cities. Angola is predominantly Christian, especially Roman Catholic and various Protestant denominations. To conclude for this round, Namibia is larger than Angola, but Angola's population is 10 times larger than that of Namibia. Namibia generally has a more stable and pleasant climate than Angola, with dry, sunny weather and low humidity, especially in the central and southern regions. Angola, while more tropical and fertile in the north, experiences higher humidity, heavier rains, and tropical diseases. Namibia's dry climate is often considered more comfortable. Economy. Namibia has a mixed and resource-driven economy, with its major sectors being mining, agriculture, fishing, tourism, and services. Mining is the backbone of the economy, particularly diamonds, uranium, gold, zinc, and copper, contributing around 30% of government revenue and 50% of export earnings. The agricultural sector, though employing a large portion of the population, contributes less than 10% to GDP and is highly vulnerable to droughts. Livestock farming and crop cultivation are prominent, especially in rural communities. Namibia's tourism industry is also a vital economic pillar, driven by its diverse landscapes, national parks, and wildlife. The services sector, which includes trade, public administration, and financial services, accounts for more than half of the GDP. As of 2025, Namibia's gross domestic product, GDP, stands at approximately 14.2 billion US dollars, with a GDP per capita of about 4,610 US dollars. Economic growth was estimated at 3.7%, slightly down from 4.4% in 2023, due to drought and global commodity fluctuations. Inflation remained stable at around 4.6%, but unemployment, especially among youth, remains high at over 20%. Angola has one of sub-Saharan Africa's largest economies, driven predominantly by oil, which accounts for around 90% of export earnings and over 30% of GDP. The country is the second largest oil producer in Africa, after Nigeria, and also possesses vast natural gas reserves, diamonds, iron ore, and other minerals. However, Angola's over-reliance on oil makes it vulnerable to global price shocks. In recent years, the government has pushed for economic diversification, focusing on sectors like agriculture, fisheries, manufacturing, construction, and tourism. The agriculture sector employs a large portion of the population, mainly in subsistence farming, producing crops like cassava, maize, and coffee. Infrastructure development, especially in urban areas, has been a priority since the end of Angola's 27-year civil war in 2002. As of 2025, Angola's GDP is estimated at around 93 billion US dollars, with a GDP per capita of approximately 2,400 US dollars. Economic growth has been moderate, averaging 2.6 to 3%, as the country recovers from past recessions and pandemic-related shocks. The national currency, the kwanza, has faced inflationary pressure, but reforms have improved fiscal stability. Despite progress, Angola faces challenges such as high unemployment, poverty, corruption, and a large informal economy. Ongoing reforms aim to foster private sector growth and reduce dependency on oil. For this round, Angola wins with a larger economy. However, Namibia has a higher GDP per capita. Infrastructure. Namibia boasts some of the best infrastructure in sub-Saharan Africa, particularly in terms of transportation and urban development. The country has a well-maintained road network of over 49,000 kilometers, including about 6,000 kilometers of tarred roads, which efficiently connect major towns, mining zones, and borders with neighboring countries. The Trans-Kalahari, Trans-Caprivi, and Trans-Orange corridors serve as key trade routes linking Namibia to South Africa, Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. The country's main international airport, Hosea Kutako International Airport near Windhoek, handles both domestic and international flights. In addition to smaller airports in Walvis Bay, Luderitz, and Ondangwa, these facilities support tourism and business travel. The Walvis Bay Seaport is one of the most advanced deepwater ports on the Atlantic coast, crucial for regional trade and logistics. Namibia's urban infrastructure, especially in Windhoek and coastal towns like Swakopmund and Walvis Bay, features modern buildings, paved roads, shopping centers, and reliable utility services. However, rural areas still face infrastructure deficits, especially in electricity, water, and digital access. The government is actively investing in infrastructure under development frameworks like Vision 2030, focusing on housing, energy, ICT, and public works to promote inclusive national development. Angola's infrastructure, on the other hand, has seen significant development since the end of its civil war in 2002, with major investments in roads, airports, ports, housing, and public utilities. The country has a growing road network of over 76,000 kilometers, though only a fraction is paved. Key highways such as the EN 100 coastal road and EN 120 inland routes connect major cities, But rural areas remain underdeveloped due to past war damage and difficult terrain. Angola has several international airports, including the main 4 de Fevereiro International Airport in Luanda and others in Benguela, Lubango, and Ovambo. A new international airport in Luanda, one of Africa's largest, is under construction and expected to significantly boost passenger and cargo traffic. Domestic air travel is vital due to Angola's vast geography and underdeveloped rail links. Urban infrastructure in Luanda, the capital, includes modern high-rises, shopping malls, luxury hotels, and government complexes. But the city also faces challenges like slums, congestion, and inadequate sanitation. Major real estate and housing projects are underway to address these issues. The Angolan government, with support from China and international lenders, continues to invest heavily in energy, transportation, housing, and telecommunications, aiming to modernize the country and diversify beyond oil dependency. Namibia generally has better infrastructure than Angola, with a well-maintained road network, efficient border corridors, modern ports, and reliable utilities, especially in urban areas. Angola, though improving rapidly, still faces challenges from post-war reconstruction, with many rural areas lacking paved roads and services. Namibia's systems are more stable and accessible. Namibia wins for this round. Standard of living. Namibia offers a moderate standard of living, especially for those earning in foreign currencies. Cost of living is relatively low, with Numbio placing Namibia second in southern Africa at roughly 30.8%, just behind South Africa. Rent makes up a modest proportion, with lower housing costs even in urban centers. Basic utilities and groceries remain affordable by regional standards. While healthcare and education systems are improving, quality varies significantly between urban and rural regions. Public healthcare serves the majority but often suffers from resource constraints, especially outside Windhoek. Education literacy rates are high, though access and consistency in quality differs. Namibia is considered very safe and politically stable, ranking high for personal security. However, inequality remains acute, with extreme disparities in wealth distribution, Gini coefficient approximately 59, and significant rural poverty, around 40% facing multidimensional poverty. For many residents, especially in rural areas, access to infrastructure, reliable sanitation, and decent housing remains limited. Still, the country's peaceful environment, strong infrastructure in major cities, and natural beauty support an overall moderate to comfortable quality of life. Most Angolans experience a low standard of living, despite the country's oil wealth. Around 54% of the population lives in multidimensional poverty, lacking access to education, clean water, and healthcare. In rural areas, up to 88% face deprivation, while even 23.7% in Luanda are considered multidimensionally poor. Life expectancy remains low, around 55 to 61 years, and infant mortality is among the world's highest, reflecting serious health disparities. Public healthcare and education struggle with underfunding, staffing shortages, and urban-rural inequality. Angola achieves just 55% of its expected health outcomes based on income, and only 37% of expected performance in education, placing it in the very bad category by HRMI standards. Meanwhile, Luanda is among the world's most expensive cities for expatriates, with rents sometimes exceeding $5,000 to $6,800 per month, and grocery and restaurant prices reflecting high import costs. However, these expensive services serve a small elite. Many Angolans do not benefit from the oil-driven economy. Overall, wealth inequality is stark, and basic living conditions remain challenging for the majority. Namibia generally offers a better standard of living with more stable infrastructure, lower poverty rates, and greater political stability, while Angola struggles with higher poverty, inequality, and weaker public services. So for this round, Namibia wins. Security and safety, strong law enforcement, and a functioning judicial system contributing to overall safety, especially in urban centers like Windhoek and tourist areas such as Swakopmund and Etosha National Park. Violent crime exists, but is generally limited and concentrated in specific urban neighborhoods. Petty crime, like pickpocketing and theft, occurs but is manageable with standard precautions. Namibia benefits from low corruption levels and a transparent police force, which boosts public confidence. It is often ranked highly by expatriates and international organizations for safety. Road safety is decent but requires caution due to long rural stretches. Overall, Namibia's security environment is stable, making it attractive for tourism, investment, and expat living. Angola, while improving, continues to face significant security challenges linked to its history of a prolonged civil war, 1975 to 2002. Though large-scale conflict has ended, issues persist. Crime rates, especially in Luanda, are relatively high, including armed robberies, carjackings, and burglaries. Traffic accidents and poor road conditions also contribute to risks. Rural areas can be less secure, with limited police presence. Political stability has improved, but corruption and weak law enforcement undermine public safety. Landmines and unexploded ordnance remain hazards in some rural regions, remnants of the Civil War. Additionally, social inequalities contribute to unrest in some urban zones. Namibia is generally safer than Angola, offering a more secure environment for residents, tourists, and businesses. Its political stability, lower violent crime rates, and effective law enforcement contribute to a higher overall sense of safety. Again, Namibia wins for this round. Tourism. Namibia's tourism industry is well-established, diverse, and internationally renowned. The country is famous for its dramatic landscapes, including the vast Namib Desert, towering Sossusvlei Dunes, and wildlife-rich areas like Etosha National Park. Namibia promotes ecotourism and adventure tourism, attracting visitors interested in safaris, hiking, and cultural experiences with indigenous communities. The tourism infrastructure is strong, with well-maintained roads, quality lodges, and a range of accommodations from luxury to budget. Namibia benefits from political stability, safety, and effective marketing, making it one of Africa's top tourism destinations. Tourism contributes significantly to GDP and employment. Angola's tourism industry is nascent and rapidly growing, but faces challenges such as infrastructure gaps, limited international marketing, and lingering perceptions linked to its Civil War history. Angola offers diverse attractions, including pristine beaches along the Atlantic coast, the Luanda colonial architecture, Caprivi National Park, and the giant Tundavala Gap. The country is investing in improving airports, roads, and hospitality sectors to boost tourism. However, safety concerns and high costs have limited international visitor numbers so far. Namibia clearly has a better developed, more accessible, and internationally competitive tourism industry. Angola's potential is high but still emerging, requiring further investment and stability to reach Namibia's level. For most travelers, Namibia currently offers a more seamless and rewarding tourism experience. Namibia wins again. Passport strength. Namibia's passport is generally stronger than Angola's in terms of global travel freedom. Namibian passport holders can enter around 70 countries visa-free or with visa on arrival, including most southern African nations and some European and Asian countries. Angola's passport offers visa-free or visa-on-arrival access to about 50 countries, with more restrictions, especially outside Africa. Both passports require visas for major travel destinations like the US, EU Schengen Zone, and UK. Overall, Namibia's passport provides greater ease of international travel, making it the better passport between the two in terms of travel freedom and global mobility. To conclude, Namibia has a better climate, better standard of living, better infrastructure safer, and has a stronger passport than Angola. So, going by these indices, Namibia is a better country than Angola.